people have already data mined Legends of Runeterra and found voice lines for both recently added cards and for cards that are yet to be released. So with this information and with my lore knowledge, I'm making this video to speculate about the champions that will come to Legends of Runeterra in the next expansion, as well as talk about ideas regarding non-league champions. As I said, this is just speculation, so don't take anything that I say here as set in stone, these are only my ideas. What I think Riot will do is that every time a new region is added, they will give that region more champions than the current regions have, and at the same time they will add one champion per already existing regions, so that all regions have the same amount of champions. This might sound confusing, but let me explain. Before the Bilgewater expansion, in the beta set, we had 4 champions per region. Then, for Bilgewater came 5 champions: Fizz, Misfortune, Twisted Fate, Nautilus, and Gangplank. Also in this expansion came 1 champion for every other region: Queen, Sejuani, Lee Sin, Swain, Vi, and Maokai. With the information we have about the league champions, I think it's safe to assume that the same will happen with Targon. We already know the 6 Targon champions, they are Zoe, Aurelion Sol, Taric, Diana, Leona, and Soraka. And we also have another 6 champions, 1 for each region. These champions are Shyvana, Trundle, Lulu, Riven, Victor, Nocturne, and Tahm Kench. Now what we don't know is in what region each of these 6 champions will fit in, and that's what I want to speculate. Shyvana will be in Demacia, Victor in Piltover Zone, Trundle in Freljord, and Tahm Kench in Bilgewater. These are very clear. Riven could be in Ionia and Lulu in Noxus due to their stories, but this is very unlikely. I just wanted to mention it because somebody probably thought about it. What is more likely is Riven being in Noxus, as we see her there in the Awakening cinematic, and Lulu being in Ionia, which is a bit weird, but she does match the theme of magic, so it's not that far-fetched, especially when Teemu is in Piltover Zone. The one that is probably causing some head scratches is Nocturne being in the Shadow Isles, but I think this might be a clever reference to his old lore, where he was tied to the Twisted Tree Line's nexus, and I think they will bring some story related to this in the future. It's unlikely that Nocturne's story happened in Ilia, since the Ruination happened before the Rune Wars, so I'm not exactly sure how he will fit into the Shadow Isles lore. So this is what the next expansion will most likely look like in terms of champions, but I also want to point possible champions that we might get in the expansions after Targon. In case you don't know, Six More Vodka is one of the many studios involved in the artwork of the Legends of Runeterra cards, and in their website you can see concept art for various cards and characters, including for champions that are not yet in the game, which include Diana in Riven, that will be in the next expansion, but also Vayne, Ahri, Morgana, Cassiopeia, and Ryze. There are also champions present in the Tales of Runeterra that are not yet in the game, like Akali, Echo, and Graves. So there's a chance that one or many of these champions will be included in the game soon. Now I want to speculate about other champions. Let's start with Yordles and Bandle City. Due to Lulu and Teemu being included in regions, Bandle City will most likely not become a region. Therefore, all Bandle City champions will be placed in other regions of Runeterra. Yordles that already belong to a region are the Mumu in Shurima, Gnar in Freljord, Cannon in Ionia, Ziggs in Piltover Zone, Poppy in Demacia, and Kled in Noxus. Now for the Bandle City Yordles and the region I think they'll be in. Corki and Rumble in Piltover Zone due to their machines, and Tristana in Bilgewater because I think she just fits the team well. Despite not being a Yordle, Yuumi is also another champion from Bandle City. She travels to various regions, but due to her team, she can probably fit in either Targon or Ionia. Veigar is currently in the Argent Mountains, but due to his history with Mordekaiser and his thematic, he will likely be a Yordle from the Noxus region. However, due to his knowledge of ancient celestial magic and the name of his in-game spells, he might also fit in Targon. With this being said, a Bandle City region might have been planned initially, as we saw icons for it as well as for Bilgewater, Zon, Targon, and Shurima in the beta files. Next, let's talk about demons. With Nocturne being present in the Shadow Isles and Tahm Kench in Bilgewater, demons will likely be either in the Shadow Isles or in a region that fits their team the most. Evelyn could be in either the Shadow Isles due to her old lore, or in Demacia for her attack on Vayne's parents. Fiddlesticks has recently awakened in Demacia, but his red thematic fits Noxus. Despite this, there are tales of his presence all over Runeterra. Shaco doesn't have enough lore to tie him to a specific region, neither does his team match any place on Runeterra, so he will likely not be in the game for a while. Now, the Darkin. As far as we know, all Darkin originate from Shurima. However, they have been locked in various places in Runeterra. Aatrox is suggested to have been imprisoned in Freljord due to his mention in the Tryndamere story and in Pantheon's story, as well as his in-game interactions with Tryndamere. Varus was imprisoned in Ionia, his two current hosts are also from there, so he will most likely be an Ionian champion. Rast will likely be one of the leveled up versions of Kayn, and therefore his region will remain as Ionia. But if it was to change, it would most likely become the region where he was imprisoned, Noxus. Void and Icathia. The Void will most likely become a region with Warborn champions such as Sho'ghath, Kog'Maw, Vel'Koz, Rek'Sai, and Kha'Zix belonging to it. Other non-Voidborn champions that fit the Void team are Kai'Sa, Kassadin, and Malzahar. Champions born in Icathia, Jax and Zilean, don't necessarily fit the Void team nor the Shurima teams, but will most likely be placed as Shuriman champions. I believe that the Void will be a region, and this is why so far we have no cards related to the Void besides potentially the Abyssal Eye, even though the Void's influence is present in various regions. But if the Void doesn't become a region, I think Rek'Sai, Kai'Sa, Kassadin and Malzahar will be placed in Shurima, and I can see Kha'Zix being placed in Ixtal. Ixtal will likely become a region with the following champions. Ivern is considered a champion from Ionia, but has been in the Kamungu jungle, as we learned from his quotes and potentially one of Ezreal's stories, and he does fit the Ixtal team. Shurima will likely become a region with the following champions. Hengar is the only champion to be in the Shuriman page on the universe despite being categorized as a champion from another region, due to his tribe living in the borders of these two regions. Champions from Runeterra. In universe, Fizz and Lucian are considered champions from Runeterra, but due to their close relation to Bilgewater and Demacia respectively, they become part of the champions of those regions. Other champions to which something similar might happen, as well as my thoughts on their possible regions, are the following. Annie will likely become a Noxus champion, since she is from there. Alistar will likely become a Noxus champion as well, due to his imprisonment there and lack of affiliation with another region. Bard will likely become a Mount Targan champion, due to his team and lore. Brand was born in the Freljord and was once imprisoned in Shurima. He also travels across Runeterra, so he could be present in any region, but the Freljord seems the most likely since it has been part of his lore since his release. Kindred is a spirit, therefore Ionia seems to fit her team the most. It is unlikely that Kindred will become a Shadow Isles champion, since that's a place where they are unwelcome. Nami will likely become a Mount Targan champion, due to the location where the Morai live and their relation to the aspect of the moon. Ryze has traveled across Runeterra, he could be present in any region. His team probably fits Shurima, Mount Targan or Freljord the most. Finally, I just want to quickly mention other champions. Although Mordekaiser was active in the time before Noxus, he is still considered a Noxian champion on the universe page as well as on the map. His team and lore can, however, place him in the Shadow Isles. Although Kayle and Morgana are considered on the universe to be champions from Demacia, they can also fit the team of Mount Targan. Champions like Cassiopeia, Xin Zhao, Udyr and Sona have lore where they travel from one region to another. Still, they will most likely become champions of the regions they are part of in universe, just like Soraka. The only exception to this might be Sona, as he is seen in Ionia in the Call of Power cinematic. Now, here are all the other champions I didn't mention yet. I'm sure they will be part of the regions they belong to on universe, and with this, I have no more things to talk about. If you have any thoughts and or ideas you want to share with me, leave them in the comments. I will read every single one of them. You can also tweet at me, and with that being said, until the next video.